on firm ground that you will not mislead this committee. However, you give us facts that will help us to come up with a good report that shall be tabled before the House. With this said, I would like to once again welcome you and say Happy New Year. You can introduce yourselves by giving us your name and title in individual capacities. We start with you, Council Secretary, then you can extend it to your colleagues. You can pull the mic closer to your mouth.
Yeah.
You can bend it. You can maneuver with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Chair. My name is Robert Tambo. I'm the Council Secretary from Fumbwe. With me, our directors. I seek your indulgence to allow me. I request them to introduce themselves.
They can go ahead.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Mary Chibonge. I'm Director, Administration.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Sikazo Granary. I'm the Internal Auditor.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, Honorable MPs. My name is Mwambaz Giriet. I'm the Procurement Officer from Fumbwe Town Council.
My name is Ruben Mwandonga. I'm Director of Finance from Fumbwe Town Council.
Afternoon, Chair. Afternoon, honorable members. My name is Fred Munongo, Director Planning.
Thank you very much. Permanent witnesses.
Good afternoon, honorable members, and good afternoon, Mfumbwe Council Management. My name is Patricia Malaila, Director in charge of Northwestern Province for Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Luvinda Sinyani from the Planning and Research Department in the Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, CS Mfumbwe and the team. I'm Siwila Edi, Principal Auditor, Solwezi Audit Office.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Chomba Mkarura, under Parliamentary Budget Office.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members of Parliament. Good afternoon, Mfumbwe. My name is Jeffan Siame from the Office of Control of Internal Audit, Ministry of Finance.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the committee, and good afternoon, Mfumbwe Town Council. My name is Joyce Kubansa from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chairperson, to you. Good afternoon once again. Good afternoon, CS and your team. Chilimboi Elijah is my name. I am from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly, and you are welcome.
Thank you very much, honorable members of Parliament. We can introduce ourselves, starting with Mangango.
Thank you so much, Chair. Good afternoon to you. Afternoon, our permanent witnesses. Mfumbwe Town Council, good afternoon to you and welcome to your committee of local government accounts. I'm Lohamba Mwene, member of Parliament for Mangango, and I'm a member of this your good committee. Thank you.
Chair, thank you so much. This is CSR. It's the first ever CSC formatted. Good afternoon and Happy New Year. Your servant, Mutelo Mishek, MP for Mitete, the Mitete that we created together, to you and me.
So you want him back?
Chair, good afternoon, permanent witnesses, good afternoon, Mfumbwe Town Council, afternoon, colleagues, Mulunda, Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency, and a member of this committee. Chair, I thank you.
Honorable for Mfumbwe.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Honorable Chairperson. And good afternoon, my colleagues. Good afternoon, our permanent witnesses. And the Mufumbwe Town Council, you are welcome to your committee. And good afternoon. My name is Elliot Kamondo, the Member of Parliament for Mufumbwe.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, Mufumbwe. I'm Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency in Petalke District. You're most welcome to your committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. CS and your team. It's good that you have got 2 more directors with you. One, you are with him in Mitete. Is your director that you have sent to Parliament. Is part of your team. Another one, I don't want to mention, you know. And my name is Mishek Mutetwa Nyambose, Chasefu Member of Parliament, and privileged to chair your committee. You're welcome, feel at home, so that we seek points of clarification. With this said, CS, you can take us through your memorandum. What you do, you read the query, go to, if it's a schedule, explain the salient features of the schedule here and there, like the total revenue. We invested to collect this, but what we collected is this. Then you go to the cause of the query, take us to action taken and remedial measures. Don't read everything. You can proceed, CS.
Thank you, Chair. The first is the budget income and expenditure.
Pull your mic closer to you. You can bend it down as long as doesn't.
Yeah. The first query is budget income and expenditure, Chair. There's a table there. Our budget for 2023 was 12,710,000, and we collected 17,848,673, and we had a surplus of 5,138,623. The cause for query is achieving targets. Action taken, Chair. Management will continue to ensure that the budget targets are achieved. On remedial measure, management will continue to ensure that budget targets are achieved. Then the next one is annual performance of the council. On favorable performance on locally generated revenue, Chair, there is a table again there. The budget was 2,956,334. We collected 3,118,834, and we had over a collection of 162,500. Then the cause for query was achieving budget targets. Action taken, management to continue to ensure that budget targets are achieved. On remedial measure, management will continue to ensure that budget targets are achieved. On performance assessment targets, output not achieved. Yeah, on the targets there, Chair, it's showing on the target achieved. It
You
is
can
showing
go to the cause of the query on page
00.
5, yes.
So the cause of the query is performance output targets not achieved as a result of lack of data in the budget software. Then action taken, management wishes to report that the targets set by council were achieved, However, at the time of audit, the team was having challenges with feeding the budget system software. This resulted in the auditors picking what was shown in the system. Documentation showing proof of achieving our performance share on the output targets is available at Appendix A. Chair, can I proceed?
Yes, yes.
Then the remedial measure management will ensure that in subsequent audits, documents evidence showing proof of performance is promptly availed to the auditors and that the same targets are fed into the budget system software. Then on cross-cutting audit findings, there's that table there. The cause for query was unqualified audit opinion. Action taken, management will endeavor to continue having unqualified audit opinion in the subsequent audits. Then on remedial measures, management will endeavor to continue having unqualified audit opinions in the subsequent audits. Then on budget funding and expenditure, the cause for query and spent funds of 831,921. Action taken, management will endeavor to ensure that all budget for expenditure is expended within the budget period. Then the remedial measure, management will endeavor to ensure that all budgeted for expenditure is expended within the budget period. Irregular use of accountable interest. Cause for query. Irregular use of accountable interest amounting to 119,849 because of Mfumbwe district being a rural area faces a limited market, with most business not having proper bank details, making it difficult for the accounting authority to make a direct payment to them. In addition, Chair, most of the cited purchases were miscellaneous, that is small, incidental and routine purchases, resulting in the accounting authority to use accountable interest for such payments. On action taken, management has engaged business owners to have an active bank account for future business engagement with us. Then on remedial measure, management has since ceased using interest irregularly. Then on irregular cash withdrawals, cause for query, irregular cash withdrawals amounting to 249,358 as a result of using the cashier to draw allowances on behalf of officers due to the fact that the district cashier, or the district has only one bank. This was done to ensure that officers had logistics to execute their programs promptly. Further, the cashier was used to draw, execute their program, I beg your pardon. The cashier was used to draw allowances on behalf of the officers, as they would have challenges accessing their allowances if they held their bank's account with banks other than the one available in the district, because of checks clearing would take some days or more, in addition to the added cost of traveling outside the district to deposit their checks. The alternative of using funds transfers was also a challenge and was avoided, as funds would not reflect immediately. Note here that all officers whose allowances were drawn by the cashier acquitted for the funds they had received. Then on action taken, management has since ceased the practice of like stated, and all payments are either by check or funds transfer direct to the employees' bank or mobile accounts. On remedial measure, management has since ceased the practice, and all payments are either by check or funds transfer direct to the employees' bank accounts. Further, management is also using mobile platform like Kazanga to facilitate logistics to employees in case of banking challenges. Failure to settle statutory and other obligations. Cause for query. Failure to settle statutory obligations amounting to 7,544,507. Action. The Council has since budgeted to liquidate part of the outstanding arrears, that is in 2025 budget, and has since entered into debt payment plans to ensure that the debt is cleared. Evidence is at Appendix B. Then remedial measure. The Council ensured to pay the statutory obligations as they fall due to avoid accumulations. Then failure to settle staff obligations. Cause for the query. Failure to settle staff obligations amounting to 1,831,417. Our action is that Council has since budgeted to liquidate part of the outstanding arrears in 2025 budget and has since entered into debt payment plans to ensure that the debt is cleared. Then on remedial measure, the Council ensures to pay the staff obligations as they fall due to avoid their accumulations. That is also evidenced at Appendix C. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much, CS, for that short and quick presentation. Honorable members, we can have points of clarification. Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair. We may refer to page 3.
Let us go to page 3.
Page 3 is actually coming from page 1 of the table 1, which is showing the budget and income. The budget and income, as detailed in table 1, shows that the total funds that were available to Mfumbo were 18,878,065 kwacha. And I must congratulate the Council for having an over collection leading to 162,500. And so the performance is tabulated on page 2, on page 3, sorry, to show how there is 162,500 kwachas as over collection. My point of clarification which I want to seek is you have provided evidence in terms of attachments in Appendix A. Appendix A, if we might go to the minutes, Appendix A is a bit bulky, but also the pages are not numbered. But this is, if you go Appendix A towards the end, there's a Kiawama local area plan with administration numbers. There's a map there. So just the document before the map, those minutes. Are we there? Minutes of the stakeholders meeting on budget review for the year 2024 held on Thursday, 23rd November 2023 at 16 hours in the Mufumbwe ward. Okay. So the point of clarification which I want to seek is that the Chief Human Resource Officer Mr. Bukamuch Gabriel. He took through the stakeholders in the budget performances at 31st September 2023. The audit is up to December 31st, 2023. But at that stage, at that time, the presentation was on for September 31st, 2023. I'm particularly interested in item number 7 on the status report of the budget performance as presented by the Human Resource. Item number 7 is detailing other income. The approved budget was 850,000 kwacha under the item of other income, which is consistent with item number 6 on page 3, which is commercial venture. So the status report that was presented on 30th of September shows that the collection as at 30th of September 2023 was, from the minute, was 424,487 kwacha. But the same item, commercial venture or other income, as detailed on page 3, shows that by 31st of December, that is the end of the financial year, the collection that was recorded under the same commercial venture was 9,719. I want to seek clarification as to which figure should your committee take. Remember, the Human Resource Officer reported 424,487 as the collection under commercial venture by September. And in December, the amount that is recorded here is 9,719, showing a difference of 414,768. Where did the 414,768 disappear? Or where is it accounted for in this table? First we might want.
Yeah. You can respond to that.
But what you do, go to Appendix A, then look at, just go towards the end, there's a map of Kiawama local area plan with administration numbers. It is a survey output of the planning.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yes, so just the minutes before this map are the minutes that we are referring to. This was basically on the first page. On the first page of these minutes, the last table on the first page, the Human Resource Officer presented a performance budget review, which is showing source of revenue, approved budget, then collected as at 30th September 2023, and the percentage as against the budget. And these figures, they are very much consistent with what is presented in your main report on page 3, except item number 6 on page 3 of your submission. Your submission under commercial venture, which the budget was 850,000, and you can see it in the minutes. It is appearing as item number 7. Item number 7, it is under other income. And the budget amount is consistent with what is presented on the first page, on page 3, 850,000. And the collection as at September by then was 424,487. But in December, the collection is 9,719. Where did the 414, 768 go?
Okay, I've seen. Chair, maybe with your indulgence, may I allow the director?
No problem. Jeff, you can help.
Okay, yeah, so what you see in the minutes, yeah, correct. Both figures are actually right. Now, there's a difference when you're reporting for the end of year and during the year. So this minute was reported during the year as we're presenting the performance. What was presented was the gross performance, the actual revenue which the commercial venture had achieved as of September. Now, when you're reporting towards the end of the year, you will net off what was achieved by the commercial venture. That is the total profit made and the remittances made to the council. Then you report what remained in the balance, in the account. So the 9,000, this is as a report of as at 31st December. That shows the net effect of everything, the profit made, remittances made to the council as of December. So both figures are correct, Chair. That shows the profit made after everything was done by the commercial venture.
No, Chair, with your indulgence. For page 3 in your submission, if you can take any item like local taxes, you expected you budgeted to collect 33,824. Am I right? Yes. Then at the end of the year, the actual that you collected without even subtracting the expense under that local taxes, what you collected was 6,213. And it is consistent with the table on in your minutes. For example, local taxes, by September, 30th of September, you had only collected 3,258. So it makes sense because the year had not yet ended. You are still collecting. You collected 3,258 in September. And by the time the year came to an end, you collected up to 6,213. Just take another. Permits. Item number 5. Permits. Permits, you budgeted 146,000 kwacha. And 146,000, and then you expected a revenue from permits of 94,152. If you check the consistency as presented on 30th September, under permits, you had collected 57,589, which makes sense.
Let us allow him to.
Yes, I agree with you. But now there's a difference between those other budget lines you're mentioning and the commercial venture. So within the year, we report the gross income. At the end of the year, we report the net effect because the commercial venture at the end of the year remits the profits towards to the council. So after that remittance, you report the net figure. So what we're seeing on the front page there is the net figure after the year has ended. What you're seeing in the minutes is the gross figure as we're reporting the performance to the stakeholders. That's the discrepancy you're seeing there. So even as we're picking any other, let's say for example we're taking licenses. Licenses as at September, there's 100 kwacha collected as at September. At the end of the year, after the year finished, what we're reporting is 300 kwacha. So we're reporting higher. So here, if we are to say we report the gross, this would mean we'll be reporting somewhere between 800 and 43,000. But now, since we report the net effect, we report that amount, which is 9,000.
So you are indicating that for a commercial venture, you will report the net.
Yes, sir.
For these other direct sources, you report as what has been collected. Because
Yes.
for the commercial venture, you take away other expenses. What you report to the is the net. Is what you are saying, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay. Any point of clarification?
Thank you, Chair. Up to September, for example, what you are just talking about, your figures, you would find that if it is 300 by September, okay, October, November, December, you again collect 300. So what really happens within those 3 months vis-a-vis the other 8 months? Then, why did you underestimate your budget? (2024), you are now saying statutory obligation, we have budgeted to finish it by 2025, meaning come 2024, this query will still come. Why? We are dealing with 2023, isn't it? So come 2024, this query will still come. But you are doing so well. Why are you not finishing this? Why are you saying we'll pay part? Thank you, Chair.
Okay, let us combine with this one. On page 7, let's go to page 7. Take note of what the two honorable members have asked. Yeah, on page 7, irregular use of accountable interest. I'll combine it with irregular cash withdrawals. As for the cash withdrawals, you are saying why you were doing that is because you only had one bank. What made you to stop this practice? Do we now have more banks in Mfumbwe?
That's when they are planning to come. Otherwise, we just
Do we have now operational banks? Has the number increased from 1 to 4 or 2?
No. At the moment, no, Chair.
How many banks do you have?
1.
What has changed now?
We have put some measures in place and we've done a lot of sensitization, Chair.
So the gap was sensitization. That time you had not put measures.
Previously, I think paying cash was not very much of an issue until sometime when there was so much emphasis that we should not be paying cash. So from that time we've learned a lesson, and to avoid the audit queries, we went out sensitizing the people that we're dealing with to have bank accounts, and there is improvement. So we see that as we continue, and also the banks which are planning to come to Mufumbwe, there will be great improvement.
In 2022, the government came up with a law banning people from using cash. That was a government instruction. All councils should transfer the money into individual officers' accounts. In 2022, the audit we are looking at is for the year January to December 2023, with the law in place. And why it has come out like this? Because you went against the regulation. So you are saying that you are improving. If you were committing murder, you were killing 5 people, they say, now I've improved, I'm just killing 1. Is what you are implying? Why did you go against this law given to you by government? that time, and why now that you have changed?
We know this anomaly is being taken seriously, and previously we used to avoid crippling the operation of the council, so sometimes we would go that way, but now we've realized that that should not be the case. We are trying our best that we stop paying cash. We are doing the bank transfers and the checks.
We understand. The issue here, in conclusion, is with impunity you go against the regulation. The government has said don't do this. You do it, and you even say we are trying to stop, we are improving. What do you think the government was trying to address or to cure by coming up with that regulation? CS.
Chair, we have completely stopped. Like I mentioned, the previous years we used to have those challenges where we were avoiding crippling the operation of the council. But as we speak, we have stopped that. And going forward, we'll make sure that if it delays, as much as we would not want some of the programs to delay, but will not go by the regulation, Chair. And
you will not go by the regulation?
Also, yeah, we will go by the regulation. We will go by regulation, we will not go against the regulation. We don't want to be having the same problems of what we're having today.
So you, and I want the DF to follow that. Do you have internal audit here? Internal auditor, why do you pass such payments when you know they are against the guidance?
Okay, thank you, Chair. I think at the time that in 2022 when the circular was released, it was circulated among managers. And when a payment is coming to audit, really it just has the face of the PV and everything. So you would not know at the time of disbursement how the payment will be done, if it will be by check or not, because the PV will you only check the attachments and everything, but it is at the time that the DF is now disbursing the funds, that's when now instead of paying to individual officers, he decides to allow the cashier to go and withdraw. So at the time when these payments are coming to audit, they come just clean. This issue arises at the time now of disbursement, and that's where now the Director of Finance is coming in, Chair. Thank you.
The PV, which is a payment voucher, has a narration which says being payment of meal allowances for officers as per attached memo. Now, the cashier normally is not part of those who are going for an activity. The cashier is outside. At that point, there is no cashier. There is a payment voucher, and the payee is the cashier to pay the following in their accounts. There is a cashier mentioned there. Now, do you do pre-audits or post-audits?
Thank you, Chair. So in this case, Chair, what we are talking about is pre-audit. So at pre-audit, you cannot know unless when you are doing post-audit. That's when you will know. When you get the cash book, then you realize that this money was withdrawn by one individual instead of it being paid direct to individual accounts. So it is at that point that you realize and raise a query on post-audit. But on pre, it is mainly the list of people that should benefit and the PV and the necessary attachments that are there.
Usually a PV for a number of officers or members of parliament, it is addressed to the bank, isn't it? Or it is to an individual?
No, in this for us mostly it's to the people the people that are on that budget.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Maybe it will say, sorry, it's not that I want to misuse Honorable. So sometimes it will be Honorable Kamondo and others. So that's how it will come as pay he. Sorry, Honorable.
Okay. So DF, we are having this nice conversation because one thing that your committee is grappling with is the audacity of local authorities to go against the regulations that are put by government. I asked you a question which you avoided to answer. Why do you think the government is putting up such regulations to stop you from the use of cash? You are avoiding to use it, to respond. You are just saying we have stopped. Now, DF, why did you have you continued to be going against these regulations?
Like the CS has reiterated, we have stopped. At the time of audit, the challenge we had is as outlined in our response. So, like we mentioned, we have one bank. Officers usually would have bank accounts would have different bank accounts as opposed to the bank which you have in the district. So, for example, if we raise a check to an officer and they're supposed to travel, let's say the following day, that would mean the officer would not travel and would have instead to travel to a different district to deposit that check to continue the operations. So that is what at some point prompted us to withdraw cash for them to ensure that operations are done promptly. Now, what has changed between then and now? So now we are able to make mobile payments, online payments, straight to their bank accounts, which are efficient as compared to then, where officers would be compelled to first deposit the checks in a different district. Further, there is also the issue of mobile platform payments. Case in point is Kazang. Other banks are able to pay.
I heard they say Kazanga. I thought it is a traditional ceremony.
No, it's Kazang. So that is able to transfer money straight from the bank, straight to the employee. That's the difference between now and then. Yeah.
Well, vomited. Chair, they did not answer to my questions, but with the booming economy coming to Mufumbwe via the resurrection, the dead Kalengwa, are we going to see a big increase to your collections? Before this, at least you were able to do what you have done. Congratulations, thank you. Will that triple, or after triple, quadruple, or are we going to see that in the coming years from Fumbwe?
Yes, okay.
Yes, Chair. That is our expectation. For the information of the House, actually, we have even done with the evaluation row, which we were awarded, and as we speak, it's taking shape. So from the evaluation row, we expect to get more income in terms of rates. And for sure, the coming of Kalenga also, it's coming with a lot of investment and income. You know, a lot of people are coming there. They are approaching Mufumbwe to invest in Mufumbwe because of the coming of more of the mine. So we expect that also to bring some income to the council.
Thank you. Any follow-up? Or not follow-up, any new one? A question? The honorable member from Fumbwe? You can go ahead. You are free. You are protected.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I'm forced to ask a question because I have asked this question to many councils. So it will not be well if I didn't ask my council.
Okay.
And that is the reason I'm asking. I take you to...
You know why I've protected you?
No.
You do not sit in the council. To the council you only may meet at CDF. So you are like any other, you are free to ask.
Yes.
Until when you are part of the council. Okay. You can proceed.
Yes, if you remember very well, Chair, we had a discussion with Lavush Manda of outstanding failure to settle staff obligations. I spoke with a lot of passion, and I should be the same, even to my council. The expressions that I showed on Lavush Manda, I think I should also do the same too.
So, which page?
Page 8. Actually, it starts from page 8, but my query, my concern is on page
9.
Page 9. Failure to settle staff obligations, and then the total amount is about 1,831,417. Now, I take you to Appendix C. The last one. You see very well that, Chair. Are you there, Chair?
I am there.
Only 20,000 has been paid, and this 20,000 was paid. The 20,000 was paid on I don't know, on 3rd April 2024. You remember very well that Lavush Manda had only paid 40,000, if my memory serves me right. And out of those, some of the people that were supposed to be paid had even died because the council was not making efforts actually to pay them. Now, I find the same thing which is happening in my own district. Now, the question is, I want to find out from the amount of money that was paid in April, has the council made efforts to pay? If that is true, do we have any evidence to show that at least they have got a liquidation plan to settle these staff obligations? So I wanted to find out what efforts are being made. And also in the same vein, when we look at other statutory obligations, the payment plan which was signed, it was, we look at Appendix B, it was signed in April 2022. And according to this information which I have, it's like they signed that they were going to be paying 5,000 kwacha every month. My other question is, have you been paying? And if you have been paying, kindly show this committee the evidence that indeed you are people that would stick to your words, so that when you plan to do something, you sign something, then you should do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that important point of clarification, Honorable Member. I want to ask the CS and the team to respond to those two. First, start with the staff obligations. You only paid 20,000. Is this 20,000 first maybe additional, or point of clarification also follow up is how many retirees are we talking about in the 1.8 million? Is it one retiree, or how many are they? Do you have any evidence to show us the list? So, and come to the 20,000, which was paid in April 2020. Why haven't you made enough effort to make more payments to these people who offered their service to Mufumbwe? CS.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, to start with the first one, which is failure to settle staff obligation, I think what we put here is just to demonstrate that we've been paying. We've been paying retirees, even those council secretaries who have passed through the Mufumbwe and other staff. We've been paying them. I think even the recent one we paid, in fact we finished.
But you see, we rely on evidence. So that is just a story. If it was for that, we could have met outside under a tree to say this is what we are doing. What evidence are you adducing to show that you have been paying? And those people who have been getting this money, who are they? How many retirees are involved? And why did you just attach this one for April?
Yeah, Chair, I think we apologize for that, but we've been paying. And before I invite the DFO, even on the statutory obligations, we've made some agreement with like NAPSA. We've been paying, yeah, and it's working very well. In fact,
it's working for you, but for us, we have not been paying. It's only 20,000 that we are seeing. So, CS, on a serious note, we want to see evidence. How many retirees do you have in Mufumbwe? Is this the only amount outstanding, 1.8, or this is for 2018? The amount has been accumulating. How many? So, for you to satisfy this committee, you need to show evidence to say this is a payment voucher. We paid, even statutory we have been paying. So just to have that story, it is not good for this committee. We can't do a report on what are we going to write.
Maybe, Chair, let me just call the DF to shed more light.
DF responds so that there is a follow-up from Mute.
Before, Chair, just a request to say, are you able to send what you are saying, the documents, even up to the latest one? Because what we only have is a 20,000 question. Are you able to?
Yes, Chair. I think there was a question earlier on which you asked about the difference between September and December. So council revenue moves in cycles. There's the first quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So you tend to collect more in the first quarter and the last quarter. So October to December, we tend to collect more, especially on levies and other income. So there's usually a surge there. That's why you're seeing the movement from those amounts in the table to this. In terms of payments of, let's say, statutory obligations, as our Honorable has raised, if you look at the LASIF agreement, just after the agreement, there's a statement there. If you go to the very end of the statement, looking at the first amount as 146, that amount has reduced to 38,000 as of 31st December, showing that we're both paying the current and the arrears. So I think by April, if you look at the amounts we are paying, we'll be able to finish off what we owe, especially for LASIF, because the amount is manageable. For amounts like, for institutions like NAPSA, what we've provided is the current payments. The amount is big. We owe NAPSA about 3 million. If you look at our local revenue against what we owe NAPSA, which is 3 million, we can't commit all our local revenue towards paying the debt. We also have to look at the operations of the council. That's why in our response we're saying we're going to pay part of it as part of it in addition to the current payments. coming to the evidence attached, it's unfortunate that we have attached only 20,000. As the CS was saying, it's just a demonstration saying that we are committed to paying what we owe our employees. The majority of what we owe our employees are salary arrears, historical and current, in terms of, for example, settling allowances. We receive employees almost every year. So at some point, we are not able to pay the settling allowances at a go. Also, we are not able to shift them at a go as they come to office, but we make part payments. So,
do we have retirees in this figure?
We have one retiree in this figure.
Mr. Samakonga?
No. Mr. Samakonga was a former officer at the council. He left. So this payment was a salary towards what the council owes.
So you cleared him in terms of benefits?
No. We still owe him.
But you said you don't have outstanding...
He's not a retiree at the council. A retiree is a person, for us, we consider a retiree a person who has retired at the council.
So he was transferred?
Yes.
Okay, to another council?
Yes.
Okay, that is where they're going to clear him.
Yes.
As for Mufumbwe, you don't have a retiree?
We have, maybe let me clarify, we had the retiree, the current retiree, we finished paying her off in December. So we have one more retiree who was still clearing as of...
That's what you see, we conferred Cap 12 on you to give us facts. The easy question. That's why you see we find you put yourselves on the spot. We asked, what do you think government was trying to address by this? Instead of answering, you go around. Do you have retirees? You say no, we don't have. That man was retired somewhere. Then after interrogation, you say yes, there's one we just create, and then there's another one. These are retirees. We want to set a record straight. How many retirees do you have at Mufumbwe? Then we want to set a record straight on how much you owe workers in terms of outstanding salaries. We don't want these old arrears, the new ones. Arrears are arrears. We must have set a record clear from when they accrued. Whichever year you took over, you came, others should do, continue. How many are they and how much is involved in salary arrears? Tabulate. He asked, Honorable Mtelo, are you able to show us that report? We want that report clearly, CS, indicating retirees, how many retirees are under Mufumbwe, how much they are owed, what if, how much they have been paid. You state. Then coming to the employees, we want employees arrears. Those obligations, this is what comes into the staff obligations. We are not looking at historical, but we are looking at salary arrears. Tabulate them. So when you tabulate them, come to now NAPSA as stated obligations. NAPSA, this is the figure, you said about 3 million, and the payment plans you have entered with them, you say this is the plan. Come to LASIF, come to any other institutions that you owe, state them. This will be helping you in your accounting. You have to know the actual indebtedness of Mufumbwe without setting other outstanding issues aside. So we would want to see this report to submit it to our clerk. The last one, Doc.
Thank you, Chair. We can go to page 4, sorry. Page 4 is detailing the performance assessment of your targets as against the outputs that were not achieved in 2023. And that was the query, to say you are not achieving budget targets. On table 3, I am looking at local governance. Local governance, item number 1, 2, 3, number of markets and bus stations board operationalized. Your target was in 2023 you were supposed to operationalize 7 boards, and at the end of the year 0. which is 0%. And then if we go to Appendix A, you have detailed the same under local governance that you did not operationalize, not even one of the markets. When I look through your minutes on Appendix A, the explanation that you have provided, just Appendix A, the fourth one, there's a letter from local government. After a letter from the local government, there's some write-up explanation from your office. Performance assessment targets, outputs not achieved. In your write-up here, there's number of markets and bus stations board operationalized. My question is, you had targeted to operationalize the 7 boards for markets and bus stations. At the time of audit, only one market, which is Kalambo Market, had an interim committee. The reason being that others were under construction. That is why I did not set a board. Now my question is, these markets, first of all, how many markets and how many bus stations? These bus stations, these markets under construction, when will the construction be complete?
Okay, Doc. You can end there.
To operationalize the boards.
You have taken all the questions from Doc?
Yes, sir.
Can you respond?
Yes, I'll start with...
CS, pull the mic. We are on record.
I'll start with the target share. I wanted to make it very clear that if you read my narration, what is reflected here is different from if you go to Appendix 1. It's the same. It's looking the same. It looks to be the same. But if you go to the last column, we have indicated what we've done and those that we have not done. And then if you go to the same, in our explanation here, we are saying it was the system that failed us. It's not that we had failed to meet the targets. We had the meetings, we had all those targets that we had set, except at the time when they were doing the audit, we had the system failure, and hence the auditor picked as it came out. So, coming back to Appendix A, you see that we've said done, and there are evidences there. Because if you look at the program, the first program, which is local governance, we had meetings. All the meetings we had. Then integrated development plan, we had met our target. That is number of local areas. We've put the evidences here.
Just be specific to the markets.
Yes.
Let us deal with the issue that has been queried. You had the
question very simple. You had targeted 7 markets and bus stations. Total of these facilities, markets and bus stations. I don't know how many markets. I don't know how many bus stations. And during the audit, only one market, Kalambo Main Market, had the interim committee. Because these other markets and bus stations
are still under
construction. But you targeted to operationalize boards to markets and bus stations that were not even fully constructed, because under your explanation that you didn't operationalize the board because they were not constructed. So the question that I'm interested in for clarification is, as the status quo now stands, what is the status of the six facilities vis-a-vis markets and the bus stations?
Regarding the market, our expectation was that we shall have those markets, which unfortunately at the time of audit were still under construction. So we did not meet that target specifically. But we have the main market, which is within the CBD, and also the Kalambo market, which we thought by that time it would be done, but unfortunately it didn't, like I've explained.
So these are your own targets. The question is, what is the status of these markets now?
Some of them, they are due for...
Out of 6? You know their names one by one. You can be assisted?
Thank you, Chair. We have, so far we have 3 markets. We have 4 markets which have been constructed.
They are ready for operations?
Yes. 3 of them are ready for operation. The other one is at 95%. There is a Kalambo market. There is the main market within the CBD. There is Chizela market and another market in Kikonge ward.
So the target was that you are going to set committees for the same. Have the committees been set in line with the Bus and Markets Act? DPO?
Yeah, Chair, maybe I can just add my voice to that. As we are trying to establish new market boards, there was a circular which came from the ministry to advise all councils in Zambia to put on hold until advised otherwise. So the status quo remains. We are advised to continue operating as councils and not as the market boards.
So do you have that circular?
Yes, sir, it's attached to...
It's attached.
Precisely.
Okay.
So you have mentioned, sorry, Chair, with your indulgence, you have only mentioned 4 markets. So which means the remaining facilities are bus stations. I want to know particularly the bus stations, because now you have confirmed, anyway, I've seen the circular from local government that you suspend the appointment of boards, so because they have no regulations or something like that. But what about the bus stations?
Does the circular also affect bus stations?
With permission, Chair, the circular was addressing 2 items, or rather 2 issues. It's the markets and bus stations.
Okay, so
Thank you, Chair.
that one. Now, in terms of completion of, not the boards, completion of the said bus stations or markets, where are we? Because you are stated that you are going to achieve this in completion, then after create the boards. Now the boards have been put on ice. No, hold on. How about the other part? Have you finished construction of the bus stations or markets, whatever the case? They should add to 7. There were bus stations and markets, 7 of them. Now those other facilities, have they been completed?
Chair, I'll start with the markets. There's, the bus station. There's a bus station which is just within the CBD. We had received money from government to construct, but unfortunately we had issues with land. It's a matter which went even in the courts of law, where somebody came and claimed that the land was hers, and she had the backing of the rail establishment. And that came after we had even paid, the contractor had even moved to the site, and he was even paid the advance, of course, after presenting the insurance bond. So the matter, the petition first came from rail establishment.
Okay, that one is okay. We don't want to go the details. Was it the only bus station? How about now? We are 7. Now we are. Let's talk about 6. Are they, the others, are they petitioned also?
Through you, Chair.
Honorable Member for.
I think the council secretary is on firm ground. He has an explanation over the bus station. So maybe if you could have allowed him to finish, he would not go into those others, including those wrangles.
Okay.
But specifically, maybe let him explain about the status and the contractor. What is the status quo?
Okay.
Because the people of Mufumbwe may wish to know where we are and what is happening. Because that is the reason why it has not been actualized.
Okay. You can proceed.
Yes, sure. So after that, we were taken to court, and it took about 6 months for the matter to be disposed of. And unfortunately, we lost the case with costs. Then we started now looking for another land, which finally we identified, and the contractor came back to site. So it was introduced to a new site, and he took possession. But unfortunately, he has not performed very well per se, because probably the 6 months that elapsed, he could have probably spent the money elsewhere. So we pushed him here and there until we reached the slab level. Then after that, we saw that he was not going anywhere, because the project manager was the provincial engineer. So as we speak, we have wrote to him so that he start paying the liquidated damages, and we are now in the process of engaging another contractor, and we are doing our best so that we can retrieve whatever the balance which is there from the insurance, because they committed themselves for us to give them the advance payment.
So for me, you have explained very well, but it does not answer on the other, because you said 4 markets. The query was, the issue was on 7. 4 markets, we remove this other market which you are talking about. You remain with the 2. We remain with 6. 6. What are these other facilities? Are they bus stations or they are markets? And what is their status for them to be 7? 4 were explained by our able, is it your position? Procurement officer. Out of 7, you explained 4, isn't it?
Yes, I think you forgot Shukwe.
Oh, yeah.
And
I forgot Shukwe, sorry.
5.
Yes, they are 5.
Nyansonso.
So you are adding another one?
Nyansonso, yes.
Nyansonso, is it done? What's the status?
It's complete.
It's a bus station?
No, it's a market.
Market. The other one you mentioned is a market also?
Yeah, all of them are
So there was only one bus station?
Yes.
Out of the 7?
Yes.
So which has issues?
Yes, sir.
So now these others are ready for occupation?
Yeah, we just, after handovers, then...
They're just waiting for handovers?
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Mwanza, your last one.
Okay, thank you. It's just a follow-up actually on the on the bus station. Here is a contractor who has been contracted, and he goes on site. Client has land issues taken to court, so the contractor cannot execute the works. Then at a later stage, more than 6 months, you give the contractor a new land, new location, and in the process you are charging liquidated damages to that contractor. What about the delayed payments as a result of your own inefficiency? Because when you issue a contract, you should be sure of the land. So the contractor was idle for more than 6 months. He bared a lot of costs. He got his advance payment and had nowhere to use the money on, because the project was under dispute.
are you fair to this contractor? And withholding the benefits of the people of Mufumbwe to enjoy the bus station by wanting to even terminate the contract to this contractor. We need to stand to be guided here, because the contractor, to me, he was ready to work, but because of the inefficiency of the client to organize the land, did he even claim delayed liquidated damages? Because liquidated damages are to both, to the client as well as to the contractor.
So the doc is saying, our member is saying, you knew the land had issues. Why did you go ahead to set the contractor to contract him to do the works? He suffered the challenges he has indicated.
Yes, Chair. Before I invite DP to come in, so that he also speaks to the issues to do with the land and also the procurement officer. When he was initially given the site, we had all the confidence that there were no encumbrances. But even then, after 6 months, when we lost the case in the courts of law, we extended the contract. We extended the contract so that it can compensate that period that he was disturbed. And for sure, he had asked for those issues that he had spent, which we addressed. So he has got no reason to complain that the period that he was disturbed was not compensated. He was compensated, and he was given enough time to execute the works that he was expected to do. And in terms of incompetence, it's unforeseen circumstances different from the urban areas. Sometimes in the rural areas, you find that there are some also traditional authority that will come in. So he took advantage of that. So
was it a traditional land?
No, it's in the township. But when you want peace, because we coexist with the other authority.
Honorable member, you are laughing.
So maybe the deep.
Let me ask the DP to make some remarks.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. I think on our part as planning, we did our part. We did due diligence with Ministry of Lands. The pieces of land in question that we settled on was plus number 561 and 562, numbered properties. And we went ahead with Ministry of Lands at the provincial lands office to just verify in the lands register to see if there is anyone, any entry on the same numbers, which Ministry of Lands wrote back to the council to say there was no one. That's how come we had to move in to take the contractor on the 2 pieces of land which we had which were to consolidate. But unfortunately, when the contractor was taken to site, he slightly encroached on the adjoining land. That's how come this whole issue went from where we wanted it to be to now being dragged to court. But to say all in all is that we did what we have to do by way of the Urban Rural Planning Act, where you have to verify pieces of land before you offer. And the ownership, since the council is the one in charge of that land, we had to offer it to the council. And subsequently, this is what happened. Chair.
So had the contractor not encroached, all these matters could have been settled. Where was the supervision? Because the contractor is supervised by technical people to show the beacons to say this is where we are ending, because the contractor is not to blame, because someone should say here you are taking possession of the site and the site should be within. So he started now building on the other land, then everything came out now, became an issue. This is what is coming out. Engineering director, do we have? Do you have director engineering?
No.
You have left him. Procurement, what happened? Because the contractor that just comes to Mitete, and the Mitete should show him to say, you have come, you have the contract, this is the boundary, here are the beacons. Stick to these beacons. Now the contractor is an innocent person who goes now, where was the monitoring and evaluation, supervision, to see to it that is within the boundaries? DP. How did we show him a land that was encroaching in another person's land? Hence now we have made the people of Mfumbwe to suffer. The whole matter, the contractor is in a problem because 6 months he chewed the money, he had no capacity. Even if you say no, we are within. You know, there must be Zambian contractors who have challenges. They get these jobs because they want to improve their economic status. But 6 months without a job, it is too long period. So where was the council supervision, CS, with your team? You are not monitoring the one he goes to build in another person's land. CS, you can help us. You are the director of engineering here. DP.
Chair, I still maintain that at the time we had taken the contractor to site. Actually, we even took the whole committee which presides on land matters. In this case, the PWD committee. And all the councillors, we went to the same site. But in the process, I think personally I had gone out to school. I was pursuing a program. But the site that we had marked is where the contractor was taken to go and build that transit bus station. But because part of it had a huge gully on the furthest point, possibly in the realignment of the bus station. That's how come he moved slightly.
Who was realigning?
I beg
Is
your
it
pardon?
him? Who was realigning? I thought it was the council to realign. The contractor is just showed to say this is the plot. Do you use beacons or you use just counting of legs like in the on a lighter note? If there are beacons, you can't encroach. No, I'm saying in our on a lighter note. If there are beacons, there is no such a thing. Even realigning, the contractor was supposed to report back to the council. I find a problem there. And someone from the council should have guided, no, don't go beyond that. It's someone's land. So we are laboring. We see a weakness on the council now. We want to pass it to the contractor. But one thing about it, Doc, we are winding, as I wind up. Okay,
Someone, sorry. The contract, I'm sure, during the bidding stage, procurement stage, they were invited for site visit. So, at site visit, then later on, we have these problems. But anyway, I don't want to answer you to answer those questions. Who is paying for this contract? Is it the council's money or from the ministry? And you in your preamble, CS, you said that you received a grant of funding from Ministry of Local Government. What is the time frame that we have given to this bus station that it will be fully constructed and operational? And what is their financial status pertaining to this project? How much do you still remain with in your account? Is it enough to cover the cost for the implementation of this project?
We can
or not?
The life for the contract was 4 months. And by this time, we could have been done with the market. But it's something that sometimes it's unforeseen. We were very determined, and we did, within the shortest period of time, we used EGP to engage the contractors. They came, like the Honorable put it, to the site, and the contractor moved in. But you know, sometimes you don't foresee what's going to come. So there came that issue of a person claiming that it was her land.
So for how long has it dragged?
I think 2 years.
2 years. That's what we wanted. So financials.
Yeah, we paid the first 25%
from the council
as advance payment. No, from the same. We are allowed by law. Once the contractor presents the.
Is it council money or is it government?
No, the same money that we received from 5 million.
So that money is still intact?
Yes, apart from
the 25%?
Yes.
It's intact?
Yes. So we expect immediately, because we are dealing with the insurance company, so that they pay that. But on the sidelines, we are also processing so that the new contractor can be found and move on site.
You have terminated the contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it at procurement stage?
No, this
Have
is
you
now
advertised? Have you
this
advertised?
is now when we advertise. Maybe I can.
Procurement. When was the contract terminated?
Okay, sorry. Let me just correct what the principal officer said. The contract has not yet terminated. What happened was when the contractor was disturbed on the first site. After 6 months, we resolved the issue and took the contract on the new site, and we signed a new contract which was supposed to last for 6 months. Within that 6 months period, the performance on the part of the contractor wasn't pleasing. After 6 months, we wanted to terminate the contract, but the contractor pushed in a request to extend the contractual period. He requested for 90 days, which is 3 months. And that 90 days was granted to the contractor, which was ending in December on the 10th. Again, last year, yes. Again, within that same 3 months, the contractor never performed. So we wrote to the contractor. After writing to the contractor, he complained, but we said, we gave you enough time. That was almost 9 to 10 months, and nothing was happening. So we tried to engage him, trying to help him here and then, but the contractor seems he was not just a performer. So what we did was, before the expiry of the performance bonds, we wrote to the insurance. And then even the contractor, we wrote to him, we said, we are not going to terminate the contract, but we'll just charge liquidated damages. So each day that would pass, we'll be charging a liquidated damage. So as it is, the contract is not terminated, but we are charging liquidated damages. Then when it reaches 10%, or the number of days as stipulated in the contract, that is when we are going to terminate. But again, the other issue is, from the time we started charging liquidated damages, the contractor has not been on site. So in short, he has deserted the site. So that is another issue that calls for termination of a contract.
Honorable members, we come to the end. But as we come to the end, I want to appeal to you, whether you are aware, especially on project management, that the President has said, given this country 3 principles. 1, right price of the contracts, of the projects, timely delivery, and the high quality. Unfortunately, people are not following what the President has indicated. And the councils are culprits. you tend to extend contracts. A contract that's supposed to take 8 months, it will take 2 years. 8 weeks, 2 years. 4 weeks, 2 years. You negotiate on a friendly, forgetting the principle when the president says something, it is policy. And you are going against policy, frustrating government. Why have you continued engaging? Look at the period of this contract. And you are keeping money in the accounts. Temptations will come. I know you are in the local authority. I emphasized, I asked 2 times, is the money there? I asked again, CS, is the money there? Soon we shall see that money being misused. Can you ensure that the people of Mufumbwe, they get this facility? You have moved to the new site. Money is there. Do not waste time. If it means terminating and procuring another contractor, you have to do it. Not only for this bus station. We are coming to sit on CDF. You see for yourselves. As you come, I will mark here, Mufumbwe, you see contracts, and other councils, you see contracts for 4 weeks. You agree with them. It will take 2 years, 3 years. Why are we doing that? Why are we going against presidential directives? Within that period, people know, with the money is available, that we can do this. So through you, I'm speaking to all the councils. Let us improve on project management. That's how we can develop our country. Why are we keeping that money in the accounts? In the bank, the banks are using that money. That money is being used by the banks. Instead of that money having to produce a project that were going to be benefited by the people of Mufumbwe and all the councils in this country. So when the government says we withhold the money, you say this government is broke. No, it's for the same reason. 2 years you are keeping 5 million in your accounts. So I thought I should mention this. This column we are talking to, we are interrogating on the performance. You set the targets yourselves. I want to thank Auditor General's Office. You have come up with this assessment too. You say we are going to produce the outcomes. These are the things we are going to do. You should be assessing yourselves. Tomorrow the commission should assess you on what you are achieving. You set yourselves. This is the benchmark. So benchmarks, this Auditor General now is producing this assessment too. Whether you are working, it will tell. There is no way you can say no, patronize anyone. This will tell how you are performing as Mufumbwe. So as you go back, remember we assigned you to bring the details on the statutory obligations, staff obligations, all those details. Take note. But we want to see results. When you come, we see you with a project more than 1 year in CDF. Remember, we are not going to. We shall raise a flag to the commission. You are not doing a good job. Extension of extension, engaging with kid gloves, as someone said the other day. These contractors. No, there are so many of them. So with those remarks, I would like to withdraw the immunity that we had conferred on you, and wish you well as you go back CS to Mufumbwe. Go and do a good job. In terms of income, we salute you. Continue to be prudent. Prudent and budgeting for realistic, collectible revenue. You have performed very well on this score. Improve. Continue to be realistic like that. You are an example to other councils. You are not over budgeting, overstating your budgets. You are within. Continue putting measures to ensure that you collect. As you collect, provide that much needed service to the people of Mufumbwe. That's why you are created. As you go back, once again, we wish you well until we meet the other time. Thank you very much. You can take leave. Immunity.
land that I cherish, so close to my heart.
This land, founded on freedom, grounded in justice, love for all mankind.
It's a land where